Have you ever noticed how a simple thought can ignite an entire chain of events? How a single idea, when held with conviction, can alter the course of your life? This is the power of imagination. It is not a mere luxury, a fleeting fancy, or idle daydreaming. Imagination is the very womb of creation. Every invention, every act of genius, every victory that has ever been celebrated began as nothing more than a vision in the mind of someone who dared to imagine differently. Most people live as though the outer world is the master, as though their circumstances dictate who they are and what they can achieve. But the truth is far more liberating. The outer world is the mirror, reflecting the inner state of consciousness. What you imagine, what you entertain in the theater of your mind, becomes the script of your life. It is not enough to wish. Wishing is weak. It trembles with doubt. You must live in the reality of your imagination. Picture yourself in the act of your success. See it, hear it, feel it as though it is already true. When you do this consistently, your imagination begins to rewrite your habits, your choices, your entire approach to life. You no longer wait for opportunity, you become the living embodiment of it. Every master, every winner, every person who has shaped history knew this secret. They did not wait for the world to hand them victory, they imagined it into existence first. The mind that understands this principle is unstoppable because it is aligned with the infinite creative power within. The world bows to those who see what is not yet and hold it firmly as real. So, ask yourself, what am I holding in my imagination right now? Am I imagining limitations, fear, lack, or am I holding the grand vision of who I am meant to be? The choice is yours, and in that choice lies your power to shape reality itself. You see, the mind alone is not enough. Thoughts without feeling are like seeds scattered on barren soil. They may exist, but they will not grow. The true power lies in the feeling behind the thought. Feeling is the secret. It is the invisible current that brings imagination to life. Have you ever noticed how a memory can make your heart race, your hands tremble, or your eyes brighten? That same principle works forward, not just backward. When you feel the reality of your desire as if it is already yours, you are sending a signal to the universe that transforms your imagination into tangible experience. Feeling is the bridge between what is conceived in the mind and what manifests in the world. Many people labor endlessly, thinking that intellectual understanding alone will bring them success. They plan, they strategize, they hope, but without feeling, these efforts remain powerless. You must move beyond wishing and visualizing. You must enter the state of the fulfilled wish. Imagine not only what you want, but how it feels to have it. Live in that sensation. Delight in it. Let it saturate your consciousness until doubt cannot touch it. Consider the great victors of history. They did not merely think of their goals, they felt them. They acted from the reality of the imagined outcome, and in doing so, they compelled circumstances to conform. Feeling is the secret because the world responds not to your words, your plans, or your knowledge, but to the consciousness you embody. Ask yourself now, am I merely thinking of success, or am I feeling it as though it is already mine? For it is in that feeling that your victory is born. Hold it, nourish it, and let the current of your inner reality flow outward until it becomes the life you desire. Too many people live their lives in a state of longing, always chasing what they want, as if it exists somewhere in the distant future. But the secret to winning, to achieving, to living fully lies in living in the end. Live as though your desire is already fulfilled. Do not wait for circumstances to change. Change your consciousness, and the world will follow. Imagine the life you want not as a distant possibility, but as your present reality. See yourself already in the home you desire, in the career you aspire to, in the freedom you crave. Feel the satisfaction, the joy, the relief, the pride as though it is happening now. Do not concern yourself with how it will happen, who will make it possible, or what obstacles may arise. All that matters is that you dwell in the reality of its fulfillment. The mind of a winner does not flinch at current conditions. A person who lives in the end is unmoved by temporary setbacks because they know the end is already theirs. It is in this state of consciousness that ideas, opportunities, and people align effortlessly to support your vision. The universe cannot resist a consciousness that is fully convinced of its own reality. Every achievement in history began with someone living in the end. They did not wait for evidence, approval, or a clear path. They assumed the role of the victor, the master, the creator, and in doing so they made their imagined reality inevitable. The present moment becomes a stage for your future, and your inner assumption casts the script. Ask yourself now, am I living in the end, or am I lingering in longing? Victory is not a reward for later, it is a state to be inhabited now. When you live in the end, you are no longer a seeker. You are already the fulfillment of your own desire. Everything in your outer world is a reflection of your inner assumptions. The circumstances you see, the challenges you face, the successes you achieve, they all begin as a mental assumption. What you accept as true in your consciousness becomes the fact in your life. Nothing can enter your world unless it first resides in your imagination. Most people think the world shapes them. They see life as a series of random events, and they react, hoping for a favorable outcome. But the truth is far more empowering. The world responds not to chance, but to the state of consciousness you occupy. Your assumptions, those quiet, often unnoticed beliefs you hold about yourself and life, are the invisible architects of your reality. If you assume limitation, struggle, or defeat, you will meet circumstances that confirm your assumptions. But if you assume abundance, strength, and victory, life will yield to those assumptions. The mind cannot tell the difference between what is imagined and what is tangible when the feeling of truth accompanies it. Your inner assumption stamps reality with its mark. The great masters of life understood this principle. They did not wait for proof, they assumed it as true and let the world conform. Your mental assumption is not a hope or wish, it is a command. It sets in motion unseen forces that align people, events, and circumstances to support it. Ask yourself, what am I assuming about myself right now? Am I assuming failure, limitation, or disappointment? Or am I assuming success, power, and victory as my natural state? The life you see outside is no more than the mirror of what you assume inside. Change your assumptions, and the facts of your life will change automatically. Who you believe yourself to be determines everything you will achieve. Your destiny is not written in circumstance or luck. It is written in the identity you carry within. Every action, every word, every choice flows naturally from the sense of self you hold. Change that sense of self, and you change the trajectory of your life. Most people live as if they are defined by what they have done, what they lack, or what others say about them. They wear labels of limitation, and the world responds accordingly. But a winner understands that identity is not given, it is assumed. To be victorious, you must first become the person who is naturally victorious. You must embody that identity in thought, feeling, and behavior. Imagine the person you want to be. See yourself walking, speaking, and thinking as that person would. Not occasionally, not when convenient, but consistently as the only identity you know. Every action you take from that identity reinforces it. Every thought and feeling aligned with that self-conception pulls your life toward the reality of that identity. Your destiny is shaped not by external events, but by the inner person you inhabit. When you assume the self of a winner, you do not chase success, it flows naturally to you. When you assume the self of confidence, creativity, and power, the world begins to reflect that self. There is no obstacle that can stop the person who knows who they are. Ask yourself now, who am I assuming myself to be today? Am I living as someone limited and small, or as someone unstoppable, capable, and triumphant? Your identity is the seed. Your life is the harvest. Plant the consciousness of a winner, and victory becomes inevitable. Victory is not achieved by occasional thought or fleeting desire. It is achieved by persistence in the imaginal acts, the deliberate, continuous practice of living in the reality you wish to see. Each night, each moment of quiet reflection, each return to the vision of your fulfilled desire strengthens the seed within your consciousness. Most people give up too soon. They imagine success for a moment, then their attention drifts to doubt, fear, or the visible world of limitations. But the mind of a winner is relentless. It returns over and over to the scene of its imagined victory. It does not negotiate with circumstances. It does not bargain with reality. It simply assumes, persistently and faithfully, that what is imagined is already true. Imagine the person you wish to be, the life you wish to lead, the success you long to claim. Hold that image, live in that scene, feel it as real, and return to it constantly. Do not allow your mind to settle for less than this inner reality. The more persistent you are in these imaginal acts, the more your consciousness becomes that reality, and the world must follow. Consider the great creators, inventors, and leaders of history. They did not wait for opportunity to appear. They persisted in the act of imagination until the world itself was compelled to comply. This is the discipline of the mind, the secret practice of those who win. Persistence is not stubbornness, it is faith incarnate. Ask yourself now, how often do I return to the scene of my victory? Do I persist in imagining my success even when the world suggests otherwise? The answer determines not only your future achievements, but the very person you become in the process. Persistence in the imaginal acts is not optional. It is the path of every winner. Too many people are trapped in the question of how. How will this happen? How can I achieve this? How will the doors open? And in their endless questioning, they block the very flow of creation. A winner understands that the how is not the concern of the conscious mind. The how belongs to the unseen, to the infinite intelligence that operates through your imagination. Your task is to assume, to feel, and to persist, not to figure. Detach from the details. Detach from the methods. Detach from the external evidence. These are distractions, illusions that keep you small and dependent. The mind of a winner rests in the feeling of the end, knowing that once the consciousness is aligned, the means will appear naturally. The universe always conforms to your assumption. It is not your job to direct it step by step. Your only job is to occupy the state of the fulfilled desire. Think of the masterful creators, inventors, and leaders who shaped the world. They did not map out every step in detail. They assumed the outcome, held it as real, and trusted the unseen. The path revealed itself only after the inner reality was secure. When you detach from the how, you release limitation and invite infinite possibilities. Ask yourself now, am I holding on to the how, or am I dwelling fully in the reality I desire? True power lies in trust, in the inner knowing that what you imagine with feeling will manifest. Let go of control over the methods, and watch how life conspires to bring your vision into being. The secret of the winner is not in the mechanics, it is in the state of mind, the unshakable certainty, the unwavering assumption that it is already done. Most people live their lives confined by invisible chains, beliefs that tell them they are too small, too weak, too late, or too undeserving. These limiting beliefs are the silent governors of your reality. They shape your choices, your actions, and ultimately the results you achieve. To win in life, you must first recognize these beliefs and rise above them. Limiting beliefs are never true. They are inherited, borrowed, or imagined, but they are not the reflection of your true self. You are far greater than the ideas of limitation you have accepted. The moment you challenge them, the moment you assume a new, empowered belief, the world begins to shift. You see, what you accept as real within your consciousness manifests outside. Replace doubt with certainty. Replace fear with faith. Imagine yourself without the chains of limitation. Feel what it is like to live as someone fully capable, worthy, and unstoppable. The mind cannot distinguish between a vivid imagination and reality when the feeling is real. By consciously assuming new beliefs, you rewrite the script of your life. Great victors and creators knew this secret. They did not allow the inherited fears and doubts of the world to dictate their destiny. They assumed a new reality, a new self-conception, and held it with unwavering conviction until it became undeniable fact. Every limitation melted in the presence of persistent imagination and feeling. Ask yourself now, which beliefs are holding me back, and which beliefs can I consciously choose to embody instead? Victory begins when you free yourself from the false narratives of limitation and live as if there is nothing you cannot achieve. Overcome the inner barriers, and the outer world must bow to your imagination. True victory is not found in trophies, wealth, or public recognition. It is first born in the inner world of consciousness. The outer world is merely a reflection of the state you occupy within. To win in life, you must first cultivate victory inside yourself. Until you see it, feel it, and embody it internally, no external success can truly satisfy you. Many chase results as though they exist outside themselves, hoping circumstances will grant them triumph. But a winner knows that circumstances cannot give what consciousness already holds. When you live in the state of victory, undaunted, confident, certain, the outer world has no choice but to conform. Victory is a feeling, a knowing, a self-assured state of being that radiates into every corner of your life. Ask yourself now, am I waiting for life to declare me victorious, or am I already victorious in my mind, my heart, and my spirit? The answer determines everything. When you adopt the consciousness of a winner, you act differently, speak differently, and attract differently. Your decisions align with triumph. Your actions flow from certainty. Success becomes inevitable because it is no longer a pursuit, it is your present reality. Remember, the outer world cannot teach you victory, it can only reflect what you already are. Every great conqueror, innovator, and leader first mastered themselves internally. They did not wait for proof, they assumed victory, lived it internally, and allowed the world to mirror their inner state. Victory is not a destination, it is the awareness of who you are in the present moment. Live as a winner, feel as a winner, and the universe will honor that reality. The moment you claim victory within, everything outside is compelled to follow.